One of the things that people are concerned with right now is, when is this turmoil going to end? It has been proven to me that astrological timing can be fairly precise, so I might be able to shed some light on this. Long-lasting, profound changes in our lives are made in part when planets that are very far away and have huge orbits interact with each other. For example, we had the Saturn-Pluto conjunction that was exact in January of 2020, but these two planets are very slow-moving and had been coming together for a couple of months before that, and then it took them a couple of months to separate. When Saturn makes an angle to any other slow-moving planet, we end up having to learn something, usually the hard way. Saturn doesn't let us get away with skimping on anything, so we have to create a more solid structure to please Saturn. When Pluto makes any angles, major angles, something gets torn apart in our lives and then slowly rebuilt. So with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, our ways of life get uprooted because we did a shoddy job of getting prepared. People don't like change, and they resist it. Once Pluto has made its mark, we can't go back to the way things were. We are forced to progress. After having dealt with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in the 2020's early April, Jupiter conjuncted Pluto, which usually happens once every 12 years unless Jupiter goes retrograde, which it will do this year, and then backs up over Pluto and then goes forward over it again. When this conjunction occurs, people scramble for control. Historically, when Jupiter has conjuncted Pluto, we've taken action to recover from disastrous situations. The last time that we had a Jupiter-Pluto conjunction that happened 3 times in a year was in the year 1949. NATO was formed that year. This was something that added structure and organization to the recovery from World War II by banding nations together, hoping to prevent the spread of communism. In a vastly different way, on the other side of the world, the Chinese Civil War ended, and recovery sought became the Communist People's Republic of China, their way of starting their own recovery in 1949. The other time in the 20th century when the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction occurred 3 times in a year was in 1937. That year, the United States, in an attempt to begin to recover from the Great Depression, the Supreme Court ruled that the Social Security Act was constitutional, and the UAW, United Auto Workers Union, was formed. FDR was inaugurated for his 2nd term in office and aggressively campaigned to conserve soil ruined in the Dust Bowl. What's interesting is that also in 1937, because of a viral outbreak from polio this time, schools in Chicago were closed. It was frightening because, like the COVID-19, people can have polio and spread it while being asymptomatic. So now, this year, the 2020, the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction occurs the 3 times in April, June, and November. The last major outer planet conjunction of this year will happen at the end of December, and that is going to be between Jupiter and Saturn. At that point, we'll be optimistic about what we need to do to recover. As I said before, we can never go back to make things the way they were before, but I am hopeful that the brightest minds of our societies will come together and figure out our next step. I discussed the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in the video that I did for 2020 and in the video that I did predicting the pandemic.